Starbucks would take like...
Welcome to Java Talk. I'm your host, Jeffrey Harman. I'm sitting here today with USF Football Graduate Assistant Taylor James. How you doing?
Pretty good, Jeff. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. So just to start off, a lot of people don't know what a GA is, what a graduate assistant is. So can you just take a second and kind of let us know, what do you do? What is your job? What is your role on the team?
Well, we're still coaches, but we go to grad school too. So the biggest part is we have to get admitted to grad school first, and then all of us are in a graduate program, usually online because we're working so often. But the biggest thing is, we've talked about it before off air, but we do the things that nobody else really wants to do. So we're usually a game ahead of you guys in the sense of we are preparing for the next opponent come Tuesday of the game week. So it's kind of a lot of that. Usually, my boss is Coach Benedetto, our defense coordinator. Biggest thing is whatever he tells me he needs to get done, whether it's printing copies, making a pot of coffee, or getting dummies out. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's simple stuff.
So how is it, like you said, you guys are in grad school, all the GAs. So how is it that relationship with the players, seeing that you're 23 years old, we have players on the team that are actually older than you, the seniors are, you're a couple months apart from some of them. How hard is it to keep that player-coach relationship instead of, it would be easy to just become friends with these guys seeing that we're the same age?
Well, you got to keep it's got to be a respectful relationship, and it's got to come from you guys also, obviously, but the biggest part is you got to pick and choose your spots. Like, I'm not going to yell at a guy who's the same age as me. That's probably not going to go over well. Probably not going to respect me, and in the long run, probably won't like me. But if I can yell at an 18-year-old, that's a little bit different. There's a little bit more of a respect thing. But 23-year-old would be like, hey, man, clean it up. You don't have to say much because they know better, too. Most 18-year-old freshmen, they don't know better. So you're kind of teaching them, but then the older guys, it's kind of like just being a reminder. It's like being like a brother who's there kind of looking out for him type deal.
So for people that don't know, I'll provide a little backstory here. Last football season, you played football.
Yep.
You're fresh out of college. How did that decision go where you were like, you know what, I want to do this coaching thing, I want to stay in football? Was it an easy decision? Did you have to talk to people about it? I mean, how did that go for you?
Oh, it was easy in a sense and difficult. I know that's a really bad answer, but I always wanted to be a high school football coach. That's what my dad does, and that's what I was preparing to do all throughout college. And then my last game, before my last game, it was a Tuesday before, I tore my ACL, and we didn't really know what to do. I was one of our captains, and it was pretty devastating, to be honest. And one of my position coaches basically told me, we're going to keep you involved in the game and put you on a headset and stuff. And I was on the sideline for that game, and I really liked it. And then right before I was going to surgery, my coaches asked me if I wanted to stay and be an intern. And I wasn't really sure because it was either that or go become a high school football coach and teacher. Right. And they basically said, I think you'll be really good at it. And that kind of sealed the deal for me. I had never really thought I was going to be a college coach, but I believed in them.
So at that point, when you kind of said, maybe I will do this coaching thing in college football, what is the next step for a lot of people that don't know? I mean, how do you go about, looking at different schools for jobs? Do coaches from other schools ask around for guys that are maybe wanting to GA? I mean, how does that work? And basically, how did you end up here at USF?
Yeah, so it's a lot of networking. There's a national convention every year, and pretty much every coach goes to that. Even the big name guys, like Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State, was there this last year. So the big thing is you got to make contacts, and usually your contacts are the coaches you played for, and then their friends.
Right.
So the biggest part was, for me, is becoming an intern, and then through them, basically what I'd do every day is I'd work, do whatever they told me to do, and then from about 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I would send out resumes. And it was whoever you knew, whoever you didn't even know, going, I'm Taylor James, please hire me. And honestly, it's one of those things, there's guys who get lucky and get hired in May. There's guys who are extremely lucky and get hired at the end of June, like me. And it's just a matter of somebody, and one of my friends coaches at Dakota Wesleyan, knew Coach Benedetto, and Coach Benedetto talked to me on the phone twice for 45 minutes and somehow hired me. So It's one of those things you got to be extremely lucky, and you just kind of got to keep shooting your shot.
Yeah, that's funny that you say about being lucky, because I still remember when I got that first text from you, said, hey, this is Coach James. Do you want to do a player panel? And I just responded yes, and then I looked back and I was like, who's Coach James?
Yeah, man.
I was like, who is this guy? And then when I got here, like, I was like, oh, okay, nice to meet you.
I think I'd literally been here about 6 days. I think I still had stuff packed in my car even.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining us. It's been great. And for Java Talks, I'm Jeffrey Harman.